Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the Ads Confidence and Clarity Workshop. I am so glad you're here. I want to thank you so much for coming along for the ride while I test drive this new workshop format before I launch it out into the rest of the world. Your comments and your feedback and the emails I've gotten, everything has already helped me refine this baby as we go along. I just know it's going to get better and better. So hi, I'm Tracy Lee Morgan. I am a Facebook ads coach and strategist, and I help entrepreneurs just like you unravel Facebook ads. I'll do a bit of an introduction here in a second, but I first wanted to let you know a couple of things about Facebook ads. First of all, Facebook ads are hard. I'm not going to blow smoke, you guys, but you can learn to run your own ads with your investment. That is your mind, your time, your patience, all of it. If you point it in the right direction, you can absolutely conquer this beast. I think the problem is with so many things in this online business game, we can DIY it, right? The results may not be totally professional, but for the most part, we can maybe buy a nice template and put together a very decent website. You can configure a ConvertKit. You can figure out how to do, become a more skilled copywriter. You can even go buy a logo kit, right? And mock yourself up a really decent placeholder of a logo while you're getting your business up and running until you can afford to hire a pro. Well, Facebook ads, they're a little bit different. And though they're not always treated that way, they are absolutely different than a lot of the other things. It's a living, breathing platform. And I think that part in and of itself is not understood well by people once when they first start getting into it. The algorithm is learning at a crazy immense pace. The depth of user information and behaviors that Facebook has about us and about our target audience is just exploded in the last few years. And that means the ads platform has changed and evolves wildly too. So, as example, how you might set up effective list building or a webinar ad a year ago might look a little bit different today. So I don't want that to be anything that scares you off too much, but just to remember that there is both an art and a science to this. And because we're dealing with a living, breathing thing, we have to be really comfortable in just getting our sea legs a little bit and being ready for change when it comes at us, because it will come at us. Now, throughout our educational journey, we've all come across a little bit of training here and there, right? So you might have a Facebook ads module and a course here or there, and we get maybe just enough information to do the thing we need to do to complete the course, and we move on. But if you've been poking around lately trying to look for Power Editor, for example, because of some training that you've been watching, then you know as well as I do how fast things change. Power Editor has been gone for like 18 months. As importantly, it's risky to follow the advice of the gurus and stay in your zone of genius on this one, because while overall I think that's really excellent advice, in the case of ads, I'd much rather see you learn the basics first, understand the lingo, know how to read the results, and invest in some basic data before you shovel a bunch of bucks at an ads manager, okay? So just like with every facet of business, there are good ones out there and there are not so good ones out there. And I want you to soak up as much information as you can first before you start paying $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 a month for an ads manager. And folks, that's before we're talking about ad spend, okay? So often it can be an issue of basic math too. You might need to start this way. You might need to run your own ads to begin. So all of that said, and I know that sounds a little gloom and doom, but it's not, I promise. As a 25-year plus marketer, I still believe Facebook ads is the best way for you to get the biggest bang for your buck as an entrepreneur. So much so that I created my entire business around it, right? So there's nothing else out there, traditional marketing, online marketing, that gives you the control, the leverage, the focus targeting, the flexibility and budgeting, all of those things that Facebook ads can. I came out of a pretty traditional career start, corporate America. I call myself a corporate refugee. I started out in the buying offices at Target and Best Buy. And from there, I went to work in a very broad range of businesses, from nonprofits and little tech startups to the publishing and technology and manufacturing industries. I've sat on boards and I've consulted with all kinds of companies. And as a business owner myself, I've run both bricks and mortar businesses, consultancies, and also now an online business. The central theme for me has always just been around marketing. And for a long while, I was kind of a generalist. I was one of those people that touched everything from business development to PR to Marcom to sales, even product packaging, that sort of thing, and of course, digital marketing. As I learned more and more and became more and more of a digital marketer across the years, and eventually created my own online business about 4 years ago, I decided to start to niche down. And that's where I really honed in on the Facebook ads thing. Now, it took a couple of pivots, as all of us have probably experienced out there. It took a lot of extensive ads manager training for me, but then I found my groove, and my groove really is all about Facebook ads. So I'm an ads manager. I'm on retainer for a couple of select few retainer clients on a monthly basis. And I'm also the Facebook ads coach for a couple of other groups out there, sort of inner circle type groups that offer that kind of additional coaching. And I coach my own students in the Audience Activation Studio, my monthly membership. Now, while we won't be talking about the ins and the outs of the program, in this pitch free training, of course, I do want to tell you why I created it, because I think that's an important facet of all of this too. First, the things that I just said about why I love Facebook ads and why for growth focused businesses, I don't think there's a better way to spend your money. Second, I don't think the basics of ads should be something that you have to pay for, to be perfectly honest. Most of this information is out there. It's available readily for free. Here's the problem. You have to dig through YouTube. You got to dig through everybody's lead magnets. You've got to like suss out what's old and what's new and what's designed for a different type of business than yours. And all of it can get very overwhelming and confusing. So I'm also not selling a course, at least not yet. So I don't worry too much about the, give away the what and the why and sell the how. I give away instead a really good hunk of how, and I sell ongoing support down the road. So the third thing is, as I mentioned, whether you have Facebook ads training module in your back pocket already, what you really need often is just that pro on your team when it's time to hit publish, somebody who can help you when the rubber hits the road. So for that reason, the idea of like fairy godmother for Facebook ads was kind of appealing to me. So let's also talk a little bit about why I created this specific workshop. As I mentioned in the video that you saw after signing up, I usually teach this course in a very intense, quick moving 60-minute webinar. It is a lot, guys. It moves fast. I talk really fast. Everything is high powered. It's a lot like drinking from the fire hose. That you've heard that phrase before. That's the one that fits the best. For those people that are more experienced, that workshop works great and they love it. They can get on with their day. But for the people who maybe hadn't tried it before or had only maybe boosted a post, it was a lot. It was way too much. So I wanted to slow this down and create something special that would actually fit the style of the newcomers or maybe those that are less confident advertisers out there. The content is a little bit more spread out. It's easier to digest. It gives us time to go do the work, come back with questions, that sort of thing. You intake more slowly. You have time to go back and do. You come back with the questions, the roadblocks, and we solve them. You're not left with a bunch of head scratching going on. There's no rush and there's decidedly no overwhelm. And that sounds good, right? My goal here at the end of the workshop is to not only for you to understand the step-by-step of how to put your campaign together, but also the next time a screen changes, you're not freaking out. You're not feeling like you're floundering. You'll have the context you need to go hunt in the right place and sort it out for yourself. You'll have confidence and clarity. So context, confidence, clarity, all of those things. Maybe I should have named it the 3 C's. Anyway, you are my beta testers and thank you for that. I'd love to incorporate all of your feedback before I open the doors to my membership again next month. Beginners told me they need more time to intake and digest this information, but I want you to tell me if you're actually getting what you need here, okay? So first, a little bit of housekeeping. I sent out an email earlier today. It's Monday, by the way, with the training schedule for the week. And I also included in that schedule 3 office hours sessions to bring you guys the experience of coming to my office hours. Bring real problems, bring your screen shares, all of those things. We're gonna solve all the problems that we've got. All of the training videos that we do here will be available to watch without going to the Facebook group, but I definitely recommend that you join us over there too, and I'll put the link down below. There's going to be great conversation going on there, lots of coaching, lots of Q&A, and lots of lessons for you to learn from your fellow workshoppers. You guys are your own best source of sharing information and learning from each other, so while I'm here to guide, lean on each other too, okay? Now, the reality is in these kinds of workshop sessions, I may not be able to get to all of you individually for every single question you might have, but I'm gonna do my best. As an example, for the Q&A sessions, I'm actually gonna take your questions in advance, and then I'm gonna try to look for themes, and I'm going to answer those so that you all get the information you need, but maybe I'm not addressing each one of you individually, if that makes sense. In the next 2 weeks, I'm really just here for you. I'm here to serve. I'm here to answer your questions as much as I can, and I will do everything I can to help you out. Now, please try to come to the live trainings, okay? I completely understand, though, if you can't make it work for all of them. I tried to vary the times and the schedule and the days and all of those things to give some flexibility, but I know how the reality is. So hopefully you'll make time to come to the lives and otherwise watch for the replay link. Every time we have a workshop or a Q&A session, I will send out the replay link afterwards so you know exactly where to find it. Another favor I want to ask of you is to help me keep this all in frame. I want to make sure to get you guys out of the starting blocks at the end of the 2 weeks with an ad. So in order to do this, I need all of us to stay super uber focused on list building and webinar ads only. Okay, so as an example, I will share with you guys some of my audience layering strategies and tips, which probably take into consideration growing your audience before you ask for an email address, and possibly doing some sales or retargeting ads or things like that. But we're not going to talk about those types of campaigns in detail. I hope that makes sense. But I want to be sharing with you a ton of information here, and I want to make sure you're getting what you need, but we have to keep it on lock. Now, in addition to that, I want you to do your part here too. So if something is really hosed up, for instance, and I tell you to go chat with advertiser support, I really want you to do that. I'm not blowing you off, I promise. I am experienced enough to know with this stuff. Like if I look at it, either I can help you walk through it, or I'm going to say, whoa, that's Department of Mysteries level. Please take it to Facebook advertiser support and see what we can figure out. Okay. So be resourceful on that one. Now, a word about the email address that you guys use to sign up for this workshop. I promised pitch free, and we are going to keep it that way, mostly because I really want to focus on you guys this next 2 weeks and give you that killer quick win of getting your ad campaign set up so you can get testing and you can get growing. But also because in the spirit of honoring my mentors, the James and the Amy and the Tyler and everybody and Jasmine and everybody who has allowed me to post in their groups for this, I want to be really on point with keeping this pitch free. So I said it was going to be pitch free, and it damn well will be. So to that end, I'm going to be emailing you guys quite a bit, obviously, during the workshop as our main form of communication. But, and thank you again for already giving me a little bit of feedback on this, you did overwhelmingly say yes to a private Facebook group too, to help facilitate some of the coaching. So I'm going to be sharing the trainings and the links in there, and I will also be answering questions in there and all that good stuff. But once the workshop is over, and unless you tell me otherwise, and I'll show you exactly how to do that, I'm going to be deleting all of your email addresses from my database. Just whoosh, gone. Okay. To me, that's an important part of keeping it pitch free and in integrity. And I will be sending out an email towards the end, giving you an opportunity to do two things for me. One, give me some feedback on this. And two, you'd have to opt back in if you wanted to stay and learn more about my program or just get, regular newsletters and trainings from me. You can totally do that. But I'm going to assume if you say nothing, that I'll just delete you right out of the database. Okay. I hope that sounds fair. Now, I want to touch on one small thing. Okay, it's a huge thing actually, before we keep moving on, because this is something I'm really going to need from you to make this happen well. And I want to talk to you about your mindset when it comes to Facebook ads. Now, this is something I cover with my groups pretty extensively. Venturing onto the ads platform is like going on safari, you guys. You're on a journey of exploration. You're going to plop the mad scientist cap on your head and you're going to start experimenting. I have lots of analogies, trust me on this one. But every single time you start a new campaign, no matter if you've been at this for 1 month or 1 year or 10 years, you're going to remember that you are in testing mode always. You can't bring assumptions to the table. You can't bring baggage along for the ride. And there's also no room here for just, I'm not techie. I'm not very smart when it comes to technology. Well, let's just decide right now, we're going to put all that aside. We're going to be explorers. We're going to keep a beginner's mind with everything. And with that, we're going to can the negative self-talk. And instead, we're always going to be learning. We're always going to be open, and we're always going to be experimenting. Cool? Okay, now let's do a little reality check before we wrap up. I get asked questions all the time, and even a few of your emails had it. Things like, what's the best landing page format? What email service provider should I use? What's the best cost per lead? Where's the proven ad copy that I can swipe and go? Here's the thing, guys. Those kinds of things don't really exist anymore. Now, years ago, you might be able to use formulaic approaches or copy paste funnels or swipe files or whatever it is and get decent results. And that's mainly because the competition wasn't as stiff as it is right now. The algorithm has matured. Advertising costs have absolutely gone up. But what that means is that what worked for them may not work for you or may not work for that lady over there. So I don't want you to get hung up on what you think other people are doing or what their costs are or what their results are or whatever. I want you to keep in mind that you always have to test it with your audience first. Now, this can be a little bit maddening because it's often an answer that I give. Well, what do you think about this? I don't know. Try to test it, right? We don't want to assume anything. We don't want to put any stuff, wiggle the camera. We don't want to put anything out there into the universe that we haven't tested ourselves and checked it out to see whether our audience responds. Because, I don't want you to spend a lot of time asking other people, like, what do you think of this image over this image, A or B? It doesn't matter what that person thinks unless they are literally your audience. So always test it with your audience to find out for sure, okay? The only thing that matters is what your audience responds to in the moment you put the offer out there. Now, when you start this journey, you are investing. This is part of your mindset too. Now, while you might get to that phase of the broken ATM, you know, that story where every time you put in $100, you get $800 back out or whatever the number may be. Yes, that is how it works, but it takes a long time to get there. And you got to come up like everybody else by investing, right? Investing in time and money in testing, in learning about your audience, in understanding what a lead costs for you in your unique circumstance. All of that is an investment. And I really want you to attack this first phase of what we're doing here with the idea of I'm investing in data. And if I get signups for my thing and people come or they download or whatever it is, then that's a happy accident on the side. But I want you to allow a little bit of your budget to just straight up test. Now, I tell people in that first month or so, expect to spend $300, $500, $800 because it is going to take that much money to understand what it costs to get in front of your audience and get a response back. There's a lot that goes into it, and we'll dig into it as we get into the trainings. But remember that you're investing right now in data. You're trying to learn about the costs. You're trying to learn about conversion rates. You're trying to learn about how everything is responding. So keep that in mind, okay? Now, with all of that said, I don't want you to go into this with your hair on fire. I don't want you to worry. I don't want you to be in a panic. And I certainly don't want you to rush anything. As I said in my email earlier today, this is one of those circumstances where done is better than perfect does not apply. It does not directly apply every time. So I want you to get an ad together by the end of this 2 weeks, but that gives us plenty of time to learn how to do it properly and to not throw money away. That is really our goal here. I don't want you guys to waste money. I want you to have success with your ads, and I want you to have fun learning how to do this. So during our time together in the upcoming weeks, we are going to try our best to have a good time here. You will maybe see me pop on with a glass of wine now and then because I like to have wine with the side of Facebook ads. But I think everything just needs to be approached with, again, a very open beginner's mind. Be ready to experiment. Be ready to have some fun. Okay, you guys? I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I have actually dropped in a new link to this email right here, and I'm going to put it below in this video. The link that I gave you for tomorrow's session, Zoom ate it. I don't know what happened. It's gone. So I gave you a new one. So just for tomorrow, everything else is the same, but for tomorrow's session, we're going to have a new link for Zoom. Okay. And I will see you guys in the group, those of you who are in there, and let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Well, that's all I've got for right now. And I look forward to seeing you. All right. Bye, guys.